We had been on our tour of the Northwest. We were coming down the coast. We were due to stop at the Walkers that night for dinner and an overnight. We were coming into San Francisco, and it was getting late. It was almost 5 o'clock. Now, the thing at that time was that all of the wineries would be open until 5 o'clock, and they would have wine tasting, and it would be a situation that you could have as much as you wanted, and it was all free. And I was not going to pass up this opportunity. I looked at my watch, and I looked at the signs ahead, and yes, we could just barely get to Italian Swiss colony. That was the only one we could get to by 5 o'clock. I drove as fast as I could. We got in the parking lot. I leaped out of the car. I said to Joan, "Bring the kids. I'll meet you inside." I raced into to the tasting room, and there was one truly Zoftig blonde sitting way at the other end of the bar. I went to the opposite end. I said to the person behind the bar, "I'll have a glass of I'll have a glass of Sauterne." And this blonde sidles up, sits next to me, and says, "Oh, that sounds good. I'll have one too." And I'm thinking, oh, good. What is Joan going to think? Oh, and I'm thinking, well, maybe she'll get lost outside with her. But anyway, we get our glasses, we toast each other, we drink our wine, and at that moment, a big, burly truck driver comes in and says, "I think I'll have a glass of Dago Red." At which point, the blonde leaves me, goes over, sits by him, and says, "Oh, that sounds good. I think I'll have one too." And I could breathe a sigh of relief, because at that moment, Joan and all you kids came in.
Was Arch on the trip where you fed I can't remember if it was Arch that was trying to take a picture of you feeding the deer, or was that somebody else?
That was a backpacking trip.
That was a back. Yeah. Who was that?
None of you were with me on that.
No, what guy? Was it?
Arch Walker, and it was up at Sequoia.
Okay. How does that story go again?
This was obviously going to be the last backpacking trip of the year. It was into November. It was cold when we started out. We trudged all the way up into the to the mountains there. We got a location that we could make a fire. We got a location that we could make 2 fires. We had 2 massive fires going, and we were all sleeping in between the fires with our sleeping bags and all, and had a really great dinner with daiquiris and so forth. In the morning, we packed up, had our breakfast, and started out. When we got out down to the cars, we were getting ready to get into the cars, and we hear clump, 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 clump. And suddenly this moose appears, and he has seen that there's been a campsite up there. He recognizes that if there's campers, there may be leftovers that he can partake of, and so he has clumped down to find us. And Arch says, "Oh, gee, tell you what, Art, why don't you do this? Why don't you feed him some of those leftover crackers that we have, and I'll get a picture of you. It'll be a great, great picture." So I take the bag of crackers that we had, and I put one in my hand, and I lead it out to the moose, and he comes over and sniffs it and eats it. And Arch says, "Okay, I'm getting ready. I'm almost ready." And I feed him another, and I feed him another, and finally I've got the last one. And Arch says, "Oh, I'm almost ready. Keep that full." So I put my hand out there. The moose takes it. The moose looks again and comes back to my hand, which is empty. And at that point, the moose rears up and gives me a clout right above my right eye. And Arch says, "Okay, I'm ready now. Could you guys do that again?"
Now, I think the first time I heard that story, and the second time, and third, and fourth, it was a deer, not a moose.
I remember it as a moose.
There's not a lot of moose in California.
Okay, I defer to your better judgment.
I'm just saying.
But I know this. I had a black eye for, at least 3 or 4 days.
Okay.